What's up, y'all? It's your girl Brittany back with another video. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time watching, I created this channel for those that feel that they feel things, know that they know things, and see that they see things, but are still learning to trust in those things. So on this channel, we get to allow, excuse me, life to unfold with spiritual eyes. So let's get into today's topic. Today, I wanted to get into building a system or a routine or a flow that supports your higher self. For me, last year, right, when I had this intent on or this intention to build a routine or a system, right, it seemed like a struggle. There was a gap between the person I wanted to become doing these things that just naturally got up and did these things versus who I was. And it felt like when I looked at it like a system or a routine, felt like something I had to strive to do, something I had to, it was just going to be, it was going to take a lot of mental work just to even get up and do these things, right? So there was a gap there. But I decided to change my perspective about that, but that took time for me to change my perspective about it. And recently I decided to change the word for it, which helped me learn and understand what this really is about, right? So for me, instead of calling it a system or a routine, I like to call it a flow, because what I'm going to discuss is that this thing, the system or this routine, it really is just you, right? And so with this just being you, it's not something that you have to try to do because it's you. So I want to get into it, right? Because a little before or during your spiritual awakening, even after your spiritual awakening, there is a pull, or you feel like a call to do certain things. You might feel called to um, meditate, sit in nature. You might be called to just be alone. You know what I'm saying? To listen to music, to write, to journal. Like there's these things that you kind of feel called to do. You want to do these things, and you don't really know why, or maybe you do. Maybe you feel like these things would bring you peace, but it's just difficult to be consistent with them or stick with them or whatever the case may be. In the awakening, the reason why there's a pull or a call to do something is because there's either an upcoming destruction of something or there already was a destruction of something, right? I'm going to explain this because for me, what happened was my previous life started to fall apart. And when my previous life started to fall apart, I started asking the right questions. What is my purpose? What are my gifts? All these things, right? And when I asked these things, it's almost like my life was falling apart so that I could ask the right questions, so that I could start to shed certain things, so that I could start to see my purpose and see my gifts and see my purpose and walk that path that I had set that intention on. And so when it comes to your flow and your routine, what you have to understand is sometimes the destruction happens before, right, you even realize what's going on. Because there's something that you have to do. But in order for you to do these things, in order for you to fulfill your purpose or whatever it might be, you can't have certain things in your life anymore. Your environment has to support the person that you're becoming. And in order for your environment to support the person that you're becoming, well, it has to be destroyed. The people, places, and things that you used to be involved in or around can no longer be a part of you, right? So your environment has to shift because it has to support the version of you that you intended on becoming, that you started thinking about you wanting to become. So now that your environment is supporting that, right? For me, I had to leave behind marriage and religion and all these things that really were not who I truly was, right? In order for me to be walking on this path. Because I wouldn't be able to walk on this path if I was still in those environments. So again, your environment has to support the person that you're becoming first. So when your environment supports that, now this is where you get to start actually doing the things that you feel called to do, like sitting in nature, reading, journaling, writing, expressing yourself in whatever way, shape, or form. But during that process, there's a refinement. In that refinement, there is like this desire, this deep desire to connect in some way, shape, or form. So that's why you're feeling this pull or this call to do certain things. And you may not even know why, right? I did not know. I wouldn't think last year, this time, that I would be sitting here making a YouTube video, right? Or creating a YouTube page. But though my environment had to be replaced, right? And there were certain things that I felt called to do, that when I did these things, they allowed me to shed layers of myself that were not me, so that I could see that this is something that I actually enjoy doing. This is something that I do love doing. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to do this if my environment didn't support it, number one, and number two, if I didn't do those things that I felt called to do. What I learned over time in honoring the pulls and the call that I felt towards doing certain things was that it kept me aligned with like a higher state of being, right? A higher version of myself, right? That I aspired to be. And in that process, I started receiving downloads. I started just understanding things without researching anything, right? Like things were just starting to my overall mental health and well being just became something that was amazing, right? It wasn't an overnight process, but it was a gradual thing that you start to learn as you're leaning into yourself and becoming more of yourself and finding the things that you like to do. So the thing about a routine system or flow, right? It establishes a baseline state of being, right? Because throughout your day, every single day, right, there are things going on that can take you all over the place. But when you have your routine or your system or your flow, this is the thing that keeps you in tune with yourself. This is the thing that keeps you feeling like you rather than feeling like other things or other people or something outside of yourself, right? This establishes that baseline state of being for you. When you stray from your flow or your routine or your path, whatever you want to call it, sometimes you can feel overstimulated, overwhelmed. You don't feel like yourself. It can take you away from from you, from who you are as a person, your individual self, right? And so that's the thing about staying in tune with yourself is keeping up with your flow, right? So for me, when I wake up in the morning and I'm sitting with myself, this allows me to hear the silence. Like I like that feeling, right? I don't want to wake up first thing and be checking my phone. I don't want the world to determine my emotional state. I want to be in control of that. I want to set a baseline state of being for my day. And when I do that, I'm able to finish the rest of my day or, go throughout the rest of my day. And if there's anything that takes me outside of my frame, I can easily do something that's within my flow that puts me back in that state of being, that keeps me inside of my frame, that regulates my nervous system, right? And that speaking of nervous system, that is a benefit of creating a routine or a flow or finding the things that you like to do, right? The benefits of a routine or a flow or a system, right, is that number one, it regulates your nervous system, right? It's going to remove it's grounding as well, so it's going to remove all of the extra noise, all the external noise, and it's going to allow you to hear yourself and feel yourself. What I like to say is that we're all receivers or frequency broadcasters, right? So every day we are broadcasting an emotional field or a frequency, right? That is sent. It's not seen, right? Of course, in the physical, but it's felt in the unseen world. It like through a vibration, right? And that vibration returns to us in the physical in what we can see. So if I'm waking up and I'm allowing the world to tell me how my day is going to make me feel, then that is the frequency that I'm going to start broadcasting at the beginning of my day. And that is the vibration that's going to go in the unseen world and eventually come back to me and show me in the physical what it is that I'm broadcasting, what it is that I'm creating or projecting out here. When I get up in the morning and I know that I'm broadcasting a frequency, the first thing that I need to do is make sure that I'm in tune with myself and that I'm broadcasting a frequency that says peace, abundance, love, joy, all of these things. And doing this type of stuff keeps me in that frequency. This keeps me broadcasting something that's beneficial in the unseen world that I can't wait to see return back to me in the physical. In terms of finding the right routine or the right flow, again, this is all completely up to you and dependent upon you and what you like to do, right? And so these are questions that you need to ask yourself. What is it that you like to do? What are some things that you can do for yourself to make yourself feel good? Um, Not necessarily buying things or anything. What are when I'm these questions are meant to get you to find something that you can connect with for you, with you, right? It's not doing anything with anybody else, or this is strictly about you. So, what are the things that make you feel good? What do you like to do? At the core of who I am, what was it that I liked to do when I was younger? You know, when you were a teenager sitting in your room when you were bored, what were the things that you would do? An example could be something like taking a walk in a park, right? Taking a walk in a park is a release, right? It also allows you to process things while you're walking, process thoughts or emotions and things like that. But it's also for connecting too to nature because you're hearing the birds, you're feeling the wind, right? Meditation, great for connecting, great for clearing, great for releasing, great for receiving, um, great for yeah, connecting, being at one with all, right? Jogging, right? That moves energy. Same thing like walking, taking a walk in nature, it moves energy, right? So it's almost like a release. Sitting in nature, that is peaceful, it's quiet, it allows you to connect, it clears your mind. Taking a bath, taking baths, I love doing that, right? That is a huge form of connection, rest, quiet, rejuvenation. Journaling transmutes, right? We're taking things that might be bothering us, pain or whatever the case may be, and we're transmuting it and releasing it on paper. So you can transmute pain through journaling, you can release through journaling, you can process things through journaling. Listening to music is really good, right? Music can give you that feeling of connection. It can give you a feeling of release, and it helps you feel certain energies. There's certain songs that make you feel certain ways, or that pump you up, or that make you feel good, or that amplify your purpose, or your day, or whatever it is you might be thinking about. Dancing is about freedom, right? And flow and movement of energy and release and connection and fun. So those are just a few examples of some of the things that you can include in your flow or your routine. Some of these things, all of these things had something to do with either releasing energy, moving energy, connecting, transmuting, resting. These are all things that you should do for you, right? That come natural to you because they give you the connection, they give you the release, they give you the movement of energy, they give you the rest, they give you all the things that you need to support yourself. Now, this is very important to those who feel called to a purpose because a routine, a structure, a flow, however you want to label it, right? It gives structure to your purpose. So, in you, in your environment already supporting you, right? Your environment has already changed in order to support you and your growth and where you're going and what you're feeling called to do, right? Well, in that you're moving towards something, you're moving towards a calling, which is most likely a purpose. Well, what you'll end up finding out is the very same things that you're getting back in tune with about yourself are the very same things that are going to support your purpose and give structure to it. So that's something that I wanted to note there as something very important. Now, before we get ready to go, I wanted to give you a quick perspective shift. Again, in the beginning of the video, I talked about how, when I first started, I was thinking about how this thing was like a routine or a system or something I felt like I had to strive to do. And so for me, I had to change the name of it, right? I had to turn it into a flow because a flow sounds like it's me. It sounds like it just does. It sounds like it just, like water, it just moves. There is no resistance, with water at all in any way, shape, or form. It just flows. And so it makes it easier for me to say, this is just my flow. This is just what I do. But I did want to give a few new words to change your perspective, right? To help you look at it different. And so one of the ones that I wrote down was rhythm. A rhythm, right? A repeated pattern or movement of sound. A pathway, creating a new pathway, right? A channel, correlate that to maybe like a TV channel. So what is your channel throughout the day. What is your station? What is your TV station that you're broadcasting on the television? Are you broadcasting peace? Are you broadcasting, what does your channel look like? What are the things that you do that helps you broadcast a certain type of frequency every day? A formula. This one was good. A method or procedure for achieving something, especially reconciling different aims or positions, right? Sometimes you might not even know why you feel called to do these certain things because there's a formula that you're formulating, right? This is your formula, right? That's going to help take you to wherever God's purpose is for you. And a blueprint, right? So blueprint, we're definitely going to be talking about a blueprint in the next video. But that's another way that you can look at it, right? Is that you are creating a blueprint. Your flow is you. Your flow is the things that you like to do. This is what connects you to you with you. And this is what connects you to God, universe, higher self, or the divine. All right, y'all. So we have reached the end of the video, and I just want to thank y'all for watching. And I hope that this video was helpful as far as helping you be able to find a flow that supports your higher self, right? And understanding that it's not about trying to do anything, it's just about being yourself and listening to yourself and honoring the things that help you connect and regulate your nervous system. These are the things that are you ultimately. So there's nothing that you have to try to do. It's just that you have to be willing to honor yourself, right? So that you can naturally do the things that you want to do. So until next time, you guys, thanks for watching.